Awesome. I think I am live. The lagging. It's okay. So, hey everybody, my name is Tony Chan. I am a single dad of two young kids, and I create videos to help other single dads in my position. And on today's video, I just want to talk about Charlie Kirk. And as you might know, he has been assassinated. And I don't know why I'm lagging, but let me take this out. I just want to create a video on how he was one of the major reasons why I went from a Democrat to being a conservative, and how he has impacted my life, and just like he made me much more patriotic. He made me more focused on family, on the kids, on being a great dad, and many more, and just seeking out the truth, right? And seeing him have huge open dialogue with people that disagree with him and people in his own group that disagree with him. Like he had open dialogue with everybody, and it was just incredible to watch and see him. And like we're the same age, around the same age too. I think he's in his early 30s, and I'm like 36 years old, and we both have two young kids, and of course we're aiming towards the same values, and it's just like we have a lot in common. So it's really unfortunate to hear what have happened to him, and I do think that definitely the world is affected. I definitely see people from all over the world praising Charlie Kirk and mentioning him and his family. So definitely, once again, just rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. And I want to talk about in this video. I just want to talk about my journey on Democrat and conservative, and how Charlie Kirk was a major part of that, and it still is to this day. So I want to take us back to 2016 when the it was Hillary versus Trump for the election, and I was definitely a Democrat, but I was not starch Democrat where I was heavily in politics and I was like looking studying all these different policies. I was just a Democrat because I had similar values with my friends and family, and I watched CNN as well, which I now know is more left leaning. And they were telling me that Trump is evil, Trump is racist, Trump is going to start World War III and X, Y, and Z. And so like I was like, oh yeah, okay, I'll vote for Hillary then. That's not good. That doesn't sound good. And I don't want the world to end. I don't want I don't want to live in a crazy country. And so I voted for Hillary. But then of course Trump won the 2016 election. And I kind of like jokingly when he won the election, it's like, oh man, the world's gonna end. Our country is gonna go to hell or something like that. And as time went on, like I say, not heavily into politics, I just started to notice my friends and family become so hateful towards Trump. And it was really weird because I just remember at the time that Trump, he had the popular show called The Apprentice, and I just remember him being popular with the celebrities. Like I don't recall people hating him so much. It was after the election, or I guess I didn't notice it during the election when before we voted for him, because like I said, I was not heavily into politics. But afterwards, I just started noticing people. They call it the Trump derangement syndrome, and I didn't believe it at first. But then, as I slowly start to see people have so much hatred towards him. I was like, holy moly! Like TDS is real, right? Trump derangement syndrome is real. And so I was not the type of person that would just say, "Oh, half the country is racist, or half the country is ignorant, or half the country didn't know any better." Like to me, that was just low level thinking. There's just no way half the country is like that. And so then that's when I really took it upon myself to do the research to learn about the other side, to understand like why did people vote for Trump? There has to be a reason why that I'm just not seeing, or I didn't do enough research. And that's when I slowly started to learn and just research the opposing views. So that's when I learned about Charlie Kirk. That's when I learned about Candace Owens, who worked a lot with Charlie Kirk. Ben Shapiro was a big one, and then I used Fox News Network. So those were more right leaning people, and it's crazy because there's Turning Point USA, which Charlie Kirk is a part of, and I started to watch his debates, college campuses. I think within the college auditorium as well. I just started to watch him have open dialogue with people, and it was incredible because every time I see him engage with people who disagree with, like he always encouraged people. I guess even actually you could expand this to the other conservative like Ben Shapiro, Matt Walsh. Like they always encourage people who disagree with them to come to the front of the line and just have a dialogue. And but I want to focus on Charlie Kirk because he's the one that actually gone to college campuses, have in an open area, and have people come to the mic and talk to him. And what was incredible is just seeing him talk to people, understand what they're going through, understand, like, just ask clarifying questions on, do you mean this? Do you mean that? Like, he never tried to, I guess, purposely destroy the other person. He tried to understand them so that he could give a correct answer, or a good answer. And it's cool because you get to see him engage with people in his own party that disagree with him on some things. You could see them engage in dialogue. And then of course you can see him engage with people that are more Democrat or left leaning. And sometimes it gets hostile, sometimes they're yelling, but like he still have an open dialogue with them. And that to me what set Charlie apart from everybody else. It's just his willingness to go on college campuses that now we know is very left leaning and is very hostile towards him, and just talk to the next generation of kids, right? Like important generation of kids or adults, young adults. And it's really cool to see someone do that, especially someone that's younger than me. Like no, I'm in 36 and he's 30, I think one now. It's just it's incredible to see someone so young do all that across the USA. And I seen his debate on up, Oxford, Cambridge. So I seen his debate outside of USA as well. And every time I see him, it's just he he just knows how to talk, right? He's very knowledgeable on the economy, of course, on politics, and then but also engaging with people. And on top of that, the values that they were talking about, the conservative movement talked about family values, responsibilities, um, what's the like being independent, not limited government, even pro-life. Like I was pro-choice, and even like the pro-life stuff, I was like, I never thought I would be more pro-life, but then like after I hear the reasoning behind it, I was like, huh, that is more what I believe. That makes more sense to me, right? So like as I learned more about the conservative movement, it just became clear to me that those are the values that I actually want to follow. Those are the values that I want to have for my kids, right? Because yeah, I have two young kids of my own, and that's what I want. So I'm just looking here and making sure I am talking about the things that I want to talk about. I think one of the things also is he made me much more patriotic for America, and luckily, like I was always kind of grateful in life. Sometimes I was very negative, but as I got older, slowly I got more grateful. And one of the things that made me more grateful to be in America, and Charlie Kirk always pushed about how America is amazing, how America is great, how America is just just what everybody wants to come to America, right? And one example for me, at least, is going to Cambodia. Like 10 years ago, I went to Cambodia, and that's which is my homeland. I'm Cambodian, and I just saw the difference between America and Cambodia, and it was just crazy to see the difference. Like in America, you can see homeless people, right? And they're usually adults. But in Cambodia, everybody's homeless. Like the kids are homeless, the grandparents are homeless, adults are homeless. Even like the animals. I remember seeing cows that were so skinny, you could literally count the rib cages off the animals because they were so skinny. And I was just like, geez, it was absolutely different. Every temple I went to in Cambodia was crowded of people begging and asking for money. Like that's how poor Cambodia is compared to America. And I can't imagine if I was born there versus here. Because in America, if you're poor, you could get Medicaid, you could get food stamps. There's an aspect, there's government security, I guess, in America that you can rely on in case something happens, right? And yeah, it made me much more grateful to be in America, right? Just to have, and also the freedom of expression. I've every now and then hear about how I think it was Germany, one of the European states, I think. Even the government was cracking down on speech. Right? Like if you post a mean tweet or something like that, they will put you in jail. And like, but in America, you can hate Trump as much as you want. You can hate Charlie Kirk as much as you want. But that's like your freedom to do so. And as long as you're not inciting violence, like you're free to express your hate, right? And I think that's what really sets America apart as well. It's like you literally can say whatever you want, unless as long as it's not violence. And Charlie, I know he has two young kids, just like I do. And man, one of I could talk more about. I guess I could talk like so. His assassination, I accidentally saw it happen when I was just scrolling through Twitter. Like my friend told me that Charlie Kirk got assassinated, so I just started scrolling Twitter because it was trending, and I accidentally saw what happened, right? And man, it made my heart like explode or sink or something. Like it, I did not have a good feeling when I saw that video, and when I saw it, I just knew that there's just no way he could survive that after all that blood and stuff. And I don't think I'm ever gonna forget that video. It's probably the worst video I've ever seen in my life. If I think about it, it was very scary. And I heard like as I got more as time went on, and I heard more about what happened. Like his family was there, so I think his kids and his wife saw it. Man, that has to be brutal. And there's this one video that it pops up every now and then of the daughter. So I think Charlie Kirk was at a news network, and the daughter is excited to run up to Charlie Kirk and give him a big hug. And that always crushes me every time because I have two daughters on my own, and having your kid run up to you, it's like the greatest feeling in the world, right? And just seeing that video, it breaks my heart. So, um, and like Charlie Kirk, he talked about being a great father and being responsible for the kids and basically teaching the next generation to help the next generation people succeed, right? Just to help people in general succeed, but especially the next generation. He acknowledges how Gen Z is going to have it worse, right? Because the economy, because of the healthcare stuff, or the medication and stuff like that. Like he acknowledges that stuff, but he still gave hope. Like he still tell people to get married, to don't go after lust, don't hook up, don't sleep around, don't do drugs, don't do alcohol. Like he still encouraged people to do good things that could help improve people's life. And that's what basically what I did. Like I being a father is 100% my greatest responsibility and the greatest fulfillment I get from life right now. Right, I have two young kids. I get so much joy helping them learn, help just making sure that they are number one going to have a great life because I could go I'm probably make another video about this about my past life, but I definitely had a very, let's just say, rough past life that I do not want my kids to ever experience, right? And so it's my job as a father to make sure that I'm teaching them good values, that I'm making sure they're going to great schools, that I'm making sure that they are not like watching crazy stuff on YouTube, like just being a great father. And Charlie Kirk pushed for that. Like he wants he believes in community, he believes in parent, he believes in while I am a single father and not with my ex no more, luckily me and my ex do get along and we co-parent the kids together. So just making sure that the kids have the mother and father in their life and that we are constantly engaging with our kids to make sure that they live the best life possible. And another thing, I'm all over the place right now because I'm trying to remember some of the great things that he has taught me. Um, I guess I could go back to the open dialogue thing because I think having conversations. There's a clip that's going viral, or I've seen it a couple of times now, where he's talking about it's so important to have conversation with people that disagree with you, and that's just so important, right? Because one of the things I notice is that people too easily take clips out of context. Like just with the Charlie Kirk stuff that's happening right now, and people are sending me things that he said or clips that he said. Just clips, right? Like tiny short clips or sentences with no context at all of why he said that or what he's talking about, or if it's even true, or if it's even him that's saying it, because there's AI and stuff now. And I just think people are too easily persuaded, especially if it reinforces their current ideas. They would just believe anything they read now, or they believe small clips they see now. And my encouragement to you and other people watching this is just to be more open-minded. Like really, the stuff that you're seeing right now, are you happy because it's reinforcing your idea and that you don't have to like challenge it? or are you actually being open-minded and researching the other side? Are you understanding the other side? And I have come, I guess, to terms that I cannot change anyone. In other words, like I'm not gonna force and try to change anyone because I tried that before and it just doesn't work, right? I think people like all I could do is just encourage people to go out there and learn and teach them. And just when they are ready to learn about the other side or challenge their idea, that's when they're gonna be more open to learning, right? So all I could do is just encourage people to be more open-minded and just really research the other side. And you know, sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. I don't know, but I just feel like that to me works better than me trying to, hey, here, watch this information, watch this video, watch this, watch that. Or I could instead of trying to force them to do it, I just like, hey, look, I know you have opposing view, but I just highly encourage you to look at the opposing view, go to their channels, see what they're saying, and see why they believe X, Y, and Z versus who you're currently looking at right now, right? And yeah, it just depends on if they do that or not. Um, so yeah, the open dialogue is with Charlie Kirk and having conversation. I think that's super important. And I still remember there's he uploaded on his channel Charlie Kirk the a recent clip of him of a high school kid coming up to debate him, and the high school kid was talking about tariff, and you could just tell like the kid already act very smug and already act like he knew it all. And Charlie Kirk, he could have destroyed this kid, right? He could have made the kid look bad. He could have destroyed him and stuff like this. But because he's a high school kid, like Charlie Kirk was just super gentle with this kid. He's like, look, I know you're in high school, but look, this is not why the tariff does X, Y, and Z. And he was just super kind to the kid, super kind, even though the kid was acting smug and acting like he knew it all. He's like, Charlie was just like, look, do more research. I highly encourage you to do more research. That's not the way the tariff work. And he was just gentle like that. And you're gonna notice that on all of his debate, right? Like he is just sometimes he do matches the energy of the hostile people, but it's never like I don't think he ever curse or yell. He would yell, but I just never seen him had like a crazy fight with someone else. That's the thing. Another thing we could talk about is so I'm atheist, so I simply do not believe in a higher power. However, I would say because of Charlie Kirk and doing in his strong belief in Christian and God, it has definitely made me more spiritual or religious. And keep in mind, back then I was very against religion. I was against Christian, I was against Muslim, I was against Islam. Like I was in general against religion. And but after Charlie Kirk and his strong belief, I actually became much more accepting, I guess, of religion because he made me realize like number one, we do have to credit our values came from Christian, right? The Western values came from Christian values. There's that just you can I have to acknowledge it, right? And it is true. And also another thing is like even with atheists and agnostic people, I noticed that they were just for whatever reason became very hateful as time went on. And I was like, is it really because they don't have religion? Like I really start to question if because that they don't have religion or they don't believe in a higher power, like they start to just be more hateful, be more not evil, but just they just sounded more hateful to me. And it could be because they didn't have like a god or something like that. And in my case, luckily to me, I think because I was born in a uh, relatively good community, I would say, um, and I could have easily gone down a bad route. Like if y'all understand because I grew up in government housing, I grew up in the bad neighborhoods, I grew up in terrible schools. I could easily have gone down the bad route, but luckily I steered clear of that. But oh, I lost my train of thought. Let me see. But yeah. So back to religion, is that when he kept talking about why religion was so important for people and why without religion, like the community is lost, people are lost, people don't have a higher power. Somebody looking at this live? Cool. Whoever this one person is, great to have you here. So Yeah, so I just became much more open to religious idea and why I think it's so important for people. Like it's okay for people to have it, right? Because I used to think people who needed it were weak or yeah, I just thought they were weak. But now I understand why people need it, and I understand why it's so important for society to have something like that, especially Christian values. So I already talked about the tragedy. I already encourage people to be more open-minded and just not get stuck in echo chambers. I think being stuck in echo chamber is just not good at all. Yeah. So I think I can end it off there. I don't want to just blabber on too much. Charlie Kirk had a huge influence on my life. He's the main reason why I became conservative. It's just very unfortunate that this happened to him because I think he had a lot to give, like so much to give. And then I saw Erica uh latest video about her husband, and just man, a strong woman to be up there within days of it happening to talk about Charlie Kirk, to talk about what happened, and the daughter too. Like once again, a sad story about telling I think her daughter that Charlie Kirk is in heaven with Jesus making blueberry pie or something like that. It's just like, man, that's that hurts, right? Just hearing stuff like that. So I hope nothing crazy happens in the future in terms of violence. I hope we can stay civil if possible. But I just know, like, I do think the world is going to change, and I just hope it's for the better. And in my case, I will continue to live on his values. I will continue to do what I can in my part for society, for community, for America. Like for example, like even my channel is all about helping single dads because that's one, there's millions of single dads in America, and we need help, right? So that's what I'm doing in my part to contribute to community is by creating content that help me as a single dad when it comes to wealth, finance, and relationship, and in the hopes that it will help other millions of single dads. And then when it comes to being a great father, like I think everybody that knows me knows how much I love my kids, knows how much I put all the effort and resources and everything that I have towards my kids. Like everybody that knows me knows this. I don't think anybody will ever say anything bad about that. So I'm doing my part of raising great kids and making sure they will contribute to society. And me as well. Like I want to contribute to society as much as possible, especially America, because I do understand why I'm lucky to be here. And yeah, so yeah, rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. And like I said, his work is not finished. I will continue to pass on his values. And yeah, God bless America. Thank you for watching.